Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. Today we're going to be looking at a band that has reached out to me. I actually believe this is a composer and wants me to check out their music. We started doing this a couple weeks ago on Friday. We're going to continue doing it. I think it is fantastic to both provide some criticism and feedback to help these new composers and bands grow, as well as to provide a bit of a signal boost and show their stuff to a bit of an audience. I think it's pretty awesome. We're going to keep doing it. All right, today's comes at us from Noah Bugalski. Bugalski says, I'm a young musician from Germany and a big fan of your channel. I found you because of your videos on Thank You Scientist, Animals as Leaders, and Igor, and I love the way you analyze music. I'm writing because I just released my first single last Friday and wanted to ask if you're interested in listening to music made by a fan. Of course! The song is called Can't Cut the Noise. It's an aggressive industrial rock track with metal influence, and I also made a 3D animated video that goes with the music. I don't know how we keep doing this with Multimedia Week just kind of bleeding into the secondary videos each day. I would love to know if you're open to such suggestions. Yes. All right. So Noah, let's get into your music. Let's see what we got here. So we have Noah Bugalski's Can't Cut the Noise. So we have a 4-bar phrase, 6-pulse idea right here.
Broken rats in a factory, hunting distraction so desperately, far from reality in too deep.
It's interesting how the vocals and some of the melodic tones are coming in just a hair after the percussive beat.
Drop the gun, it's irretrievable anyway. We all participate in this preposterous masquerade. Everyone,
yeah, loving the bass here, really taking full spotlight under the vocals.
Oh, you can't seem to break through. I just hear my thoughts ringing in my ears. Everything is distracting, just overreacting. All you people asking, leaving me no choice. I can't cut the noise. 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 I can't cut the noise.
Yeah. Dude, that's your first single? That was very well put together. A bit on the shorter side, but it's also industrial, and I don't know what is a typical song length for that. It's 2.5, I suppose, isn't too bad compared to pop music. Even rock is kind of like radio rock stuff's kind of coming down into that 2.5, 3 minute area. So I guess it's not as short as I think it. Maybe it's just 'cause I listened to a lot of long songs this week. Um, but yeah, so there is so much good going on here. Um, Production, first of all, being that it's electronic, industrial, There's a lot of elements on here where we're using virtual instruments and you're creating distortion and tone and timbre based on digital elements. It's all done on the engineering side. It's done so well. Maybe it's just because I lack all the skills required for this type of music production, music creation, I suppose I should say. I I don't even know where to begin creating all of these tones and textures and then mixing them well. But it's done very well. Nothing is really taking too much of a spotlight. Everything is playing within its range and staying exactly where it should be as far as the mix is concerned. Nothing feels like it's standing out. There's a lot of stuff going on, especially in some of your larger elements, like in the can't cut the noise portion of the song there at the end. And it doesn't feel like anything is being stepped on. It doesn't feel like anything's getting in the way of any other element in the music. It is just like I said, there's just a lot of really good balance in the mixing of all of the different parts of the song. Um, so yeah, the production value both in the tones that are chosen and how they are mixed and layered is real good. Real solid work right here already. The music itself, I find it a little difficult to talk about because there's so many elements that I feel are modifying the notes themselves in the production. But I like the atmosphere that's created. There isn't much of a melody outside of the vocals, which again I don't want that to be too much of a takeaway or a negative aspect because of the style of music it is. Um, but I think that the vocals are catchy enough. The can't cut the noise part definitely is a strong hook, even if it's placed at the end and only done once. It's a memorable aspect of the song. Um, and then the atmosphere that you create with the rest of the instruments is done. It's a very strong atmosphere of noise, which I think works well with both the themes of the song as well as what industrial does well. It's it's sort of the from what I understand, I have not listened to a lot of industrial, but from what I understand of it, it's kind of like the metal of electronic music. Although I guess maybe dubstep kind of took that over for a little bit. Dubstep might be like the prog metal of electronic. Um, but yeah, just having all these harsh tones works very well, especially at the end when we hit the highest point as far as volume and compression and layering. When you repeatedly say, I can't cut the noise, the sound is getting bigger, louder. We're adding some compression, so it's actually pulling it in tighter. It makes it feel like the sound itself is forming around you, and it works well with the video itself. I'm going to touch on this in a little bit because it's not music related, but the video, yeah. But you even have the cityscape bending in around, and it feels like this all-encompassing aspect in the music that's trying to cut out the vocals and compress them and sort of envelop the vocal line. I can't cut the noise. Like you're trying to break free of the music's coming around you. The compression, again, the production. The production is so key here. But adding the compression there at the end to really make the song sound enveloping, fantastic choice. Um, And I do want to point out the bass line there in the middle, right before we hit I think it was right before we hit the chorus. Some of the grittier electronic tones cut out, and we were left with the vocals and the bass. And I love that. I don't know if it's just because I play bass. I don't know if it's because it was the only traditional instrument I could hear among all the virtual instruments, but I really enjoyed having it there and giving it a little bit of the spotlight just by removing everything else. It was very present in the mix, and I enjoyed that. I picked it up immediately. So that was pretty cool. I like that mix of the virtual and the traditional instruments there. Um, yeah, I don't know if I have any strong criticisms, but this is also not music I typically listen to, and it's also music that is a bit outside of my critical lens. I would say electronic, anything that's really um, strongly textural based like this. But like I said, at least for this song in particular, I think that the sounds of the genre mesh very well with the themes of the lyrics. I'd be interested to see what I think about another song where the genre, assuming that you primarily create this industrial stuff, doesn't necessarily get utilized in the lyrical themes as well. And I'm wondering what I might think of that. Although I suppose that it would probably be more like pretty much any industrial music out there, where it's just about the fact that it sounds good, and then they wanted to put some lyrics to it. Um, but yeah, so this is a bit outside of my typical criticism and listening. So, like I said, I don't think I really have anything negative to say about it other than maybe the length, but again, that could just be very standard for the genre. Um, but I also enjoyed last thing is that the song is linear. I don't know again if that's sort of a normal thing for industrial or not, but we have part one and then part two, and there is no verse chorus idea. Um, and the song structure itself lends itself to be sort of poetic in that sense. Uh, Poetry, just runs top to bottom. You might have a repeated phrase or something, a little bit of a callback, but that's what the song feels like to me is a poem with music tied to it. And I think that's really cool. It provides this linear journey through it rather than seeing patterns or repetitions in the song structure itself. So, yeah, just really strong effort all around. I'm sure there might be some people in the comments who might be more acclimated to electronic music who might have some specific feedback or criticism regarding the production itself and maybe some of the techniques used on the engineering side, stuff I don't have the experience with. But casually listening, this was a jam. I really enjoyed it. I don't It's not my typical music, so I don't know if I'd go out of my way to listen to it again, but there's nothing in here that really upset me or anything that I didn't enjoy. It was fun to listen to. So I suppose mission success. I still can't believe this is the first single though, especially with that music video. It makes me wonder if you got into visual production, 3D production first, and then started exploring digital music, or if it was the other way around. Because even the effects are really cool. Um, yeah. So like I've toyed around with 3D images. I've created some 3D videos in the past. I have a blueprint of how I could probably recreate the city and the city moving and possibly even the enveloping, but that liquid ball moving to with the music as a sort of like visualizer for the music. I don't know how I would go about doing that. So yeah, really cool stuff all around. Just lots of, at least to my eyes and my ears, there's a lot of fine tuning and uh, like polish put on both the visuals of the music video and the song itself. And it's done to a pretty high level. So yeah, great stuff. I wish I had some feedback, but yeah, it just seems very clean to me. Those are my thoughts, though, on Noah's Can't Cut the Noise. So, where you guys come in, hit me up in the comments. Let me know if you enjoyed this or not. Let me know. You can leave any comments for Noah. Hopefully, he will drop by and check them out if you want to. Otherwise, you can leave some comments just in general if you enjoyed it or not, anything that might have stuck out to you, or maybe something that you picked up on that I didn't. Like I said, this is a bit outside of my normal listening, so there's probably some things I might have missed, more nuanced ideas. Um, so yeah, when you're done commenting, you can head up to the description box. There's a link in there for Linktree, which is a fantastic resource. It'll take you to a menu with links for everything related to the channel. You can check out the Discord community, support me through Patreon, submit your own special selection. If you're a band, hit me up via my email, and I'll get around to getting you on the channel. The list is pretty lengthy. I'm trying to get through it. Um, Getting one done a week currently. But I do promise that if you email me and say, hey, we're a band and we want you to check out one of our songs, I'll get to it eventually. I can't promise a time frame, but it'll get on the channel sometime. Um, yeah. And above that, of course, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. I greatly appreciate all three. I will not be back with a video tomorrow. It's the weekend. We take the weekends off. And but I will be back on Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. as usual. We'll be looking at uh, next week's theme, which is Dissonance Week. We're going to be looking at music that is highly dissonant in one manner or another. I swear sometimes I feel like my community likes to torture me. But we'll get through it as we have done with many other things in the past, and hopefully I can come out on the other side with a newfound appreciation for dissonance and maybe even a new favorite band. And wouldn't it be the first time I've gone into a week a bit apprehensive and found something quite enjoyable in it? And then, of course, we'll be looking at more special selections as well. Alright, until next time, remember to be critical but not cynical of the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos.